So this week I made a little mistake in the scheduling, so you're not going to get a proper episode until an actual episode of this show for another 2 weeks. Next week you've got a sample of Truth Seeking, my other show, full episode of that on here. But I thought, seeing as we've got a free week, I'll give you an episode from Patreon, as I do every sort of like 50 episodes. I chuck one on here. So in the hopes, really, that you might think, you know what, I do want to wear another 159 of these. I will give him $3 a month for this, because that's all it is. $3 a month, and you can listen to things like Daily Update 143, Black and White Menaces, and then underneath it's described as, if badger baiting's so bad, why did they give it such a fun, marketable name? It's 5 minutes long, that. Just a tip. Reckon this would help advertise the shows. So I ask you questions in there, and then it's just things I think about. Something called Dr. Y, and it says evil sketches underneath. And these come out basically in, I'll either put one out every other day, or you'll get like 6 or 7 in a week, and then maybe not one for like a half a week or a week, and then you'll get another bunch of them over a few days. I just make notes on my phone now of the things I've been thinking about, and I put them out on there. You also get a little heads up on Patreon as well for when new bits are added to my website sometimes. Not all the times, but with things that I think are going to be popular, I put a little heads up on there, because you should get emails and that from there and notifications, whereas you wouldn't from Facebook and things like that. We got Daily Update 146, PC Culture, PC DCI Agent, why did he get away with it? And the beauty of it all is, I can't remember what most of these things are about. The Mick Lynch pin, are they real people? Are any of you real? This is probably from a point where, looking at the length of these, I was falling down a hole in my head. Next one's called Whether It's a Balloon. The reek of a cover-up, that's going to be about weather balloons, I imagine. They're calling it kidding, and everyone who's anyone is doing it. And then underneath it says, who's got the stash? That's probably about kiddie porn, because that's in a big chunk of episodes there, where these are normally about 5 minutes long. Each of these are about 10 minutes. So yeah, that's probably me ranting about kiddie porn again. Meat Puppets, can you think of another way? Pile, the franchise, I might put that one at the end of this little thing here telling you. That's 16 minutes long though, so I might save that for there. We're talking from Pile 1, like the original Pile, to Pile 9, which is a film franchise that doesn't actually exist yet, but I came up with the names for it and a bit of marketing ideas for it. FGM versus MGM, the unicorn. I think that's me talking about where the idea of a unicorn came from, based on one of the things I've been making. The Baronesses, that I think was something to do with women who couldn't give birth, women who couldn't get pregnant. That's only 3 minutes, that one. I got that out of my system pretty quickly. A bit seedy. X-Factory Reset. What do you think of this then, as in water? Water makes sense to be fourth dimensional. The shadow of water looks like nothing like water itself. So if you're into a bit of something different, and you think to yourself, you know what, I do want to hear more of the shows. Plus you can watch the video versions of the main shows, and you pretty much, you don't get it as an RSS feed or as an audio feed, but through the video versions you get access to all of the shows that I've done so far. So for on here, as episodes on here, that's going to work out as about maybe 160 episodes so far, but it's about 70 odd radio shows that I've recorded on video. Cats the Pantomime, Silly Simons, AI, OI. There's all sorts, man. There's all sorts on here. So I'll give you an episode now. The episode I'm going to give you is should we just go for the most recent one? Maybe, yeah. I'll just chuck the most recent one as of today, which is Daily Update 160. It's called Flashergrams. It says underneath, should be all right. So if you enjoy this, go and sign up to my Patreon, patreon.com/worldaroundyou. You'll find the link underneath, or you'll find it on any of my pages and that. And you get access to loads of stuff. Plus you can read all 4 of my books as downloads, as digital downloads, if you join for £3 or more. So fucking enjoy this. If you was to hire someone, right, to go and expose themselves to one of your mates, would that be illegal? Who's breaking the law in this circumstance here? So long as you counter into some rules, right? There's no kiddies about, no teenagers either, just to be sure. Not even 18, 19-year-old, because that could be, questionable, if that's okay to do. But say your mate's like 25, and you hire somebody
to go and expose themselves to them for a laugh, right? They just walk up to them with a mac on. Some old woman flashes her tits, right? Hilarious. You get some old man to come and knock on his door and like that on his door, and then he answers the door and the old man just goes, hello, and waves with his hand around in a circular motion. And as his hand comes round in a full circle, like 3/4 of a circular motion, having started at like 9 o'clock, getting to 6, he just swiftly undoes the latch at the top of his trousers, and they drop down, and there's his little mushroom, right? Hilarious. But is it illegal? I ain't got a clue. But I've been trying to work it out, because you can have strippergrams, can't you? You can hire a stripper, right? But that person, the person who wants the stripper, has hired the stripper. Very rarely is someone going to hire a stripper for somebody else unless it's like a stag do. But in that situation, it's okay because it's, there's that level of consent there, right? But if the person's been paid to do it, like how you used to be able to hire that bloke to dress up as a clown and he would follow people around for a week, and then on the birthday he'd hit him in the face with a pie, right? In the same way that you used to be able to hire people like that, and that way you can hire a dwarf, rent a dwarf for a day and chain that dwarf to somebody else like via handcuff, because the dwarf's fine with it, right? That makes it okay. So can you hire what I'm going to dub a flashergram? Someone that you pay, I don't know, I imagine these people would be doing it for the love rather than the money. So you pay these people 50 quid and they just go and flash the bits to someone, right? Not somewhere where it would be wrong, where other people might see either, So maybe they work in an office and they're the only person in that office, or everyone else in the office is all chipped in, and you're like, right, we're going to hire, Dodgy Derek from the Yellow Pages, and he's going to come and basically sexually harass Sandra. But it's okay because it's a birthday. It's next week and we're doing this for the birthday. Because it'll be a laugh, we'll find it funny. Because, she says, oh, I've got such a dark sense of humour. So we're gonna get Dodgy Derek to flash his... he's not even going to show his dick and ball. He's just going to show his balls and his arsehole to Sandra at a desk. And then, he's going to leave. Not even going to be escorted out, he's just going to leave. He's going to skip away. We've paid for the extra skipping fee. We've paid for the queue skipping fee. And then he sets up so you pay your 50 quid. Excuse me. And then you pay an extra £3.50 for the queue skipping fee. And what he does is he brings his own like metal poles that he's robbed from the bank. And he served his time for it, and that it's all above board and that now. But he got to keep them because of the things he was doing with them was disgusting. He putting them up himself and that. But that's why he's called Dodgy Derek as well. He nicks stuff, but he's not nicking stuff today. He's a flashergram, right? And then he comes and he brings out these posts, and he's got the sort of the, I don't know what you call it. They look like seat belts that come out of the posts, and he slots them into the others, and he makes up a nice queue, right? A nice like a bending queue. Not as in the letter Q or the conspiracy theorist. I mean like something you queue up in, as in like a line of people, but there's no people. It's just going to be him. And then he skips along it, mate. He just rather camply, just like frolics. He frolics in the queue that he's made, right, from the door to Sandra, and then he lifts the flap of his Mac, lifts it over his shoulders, and then just sort of arches forwards, hands on his thighs, fingers facing inwards, pointing at each other, and he sort of then just shows his bumhole. She can see his balls dangling. She's mortified because she's been watching this bloke set a queue up in the room for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes, depending on the size of the queue and how many times Dodgy Derek's had to go back to the van. Because it's amazing that he only charges £2 or £3.50 for this. He loves it. He does it for the love, like I say. He's making £53.50 on this. It's going to take him half an hour to set up and put it away for only like 10 seconds of an act that you're paying 50 quid for. So he's more than happy because he's on like, that could work out if you can get two in the same office block. On the same floor, he could probably be working out about £80 an hour, give or take, because he couldn't get both in the hour, but he could get close. Maybe he does a discount or something if you can work out to get them both in the same room together. I'm not sure. I don't know his business practices, but I imagine they're quite ethical because it's all above board. But how do you get that to be real? Is my question. And how is that? Would that be okay? Like a flash mob. But it's not in the sense of everybody flashes people. Just like a flash mob's okay, and that causes a disturbance, gets in the way of people with prams and wheelchairs and mobility scooters because they can have a dance in a supermarket or whatever. That's fine. And to hire a stripper is fine. You can hire a prostitute. I think it's legal to hire a prostitute. I think, or an escort. I'm pretty sure you can legally pay people for sex, but you just can't own a brothel. I think, or you can't do it in a brothel. I'm unsure of the rules around that, the laws. Don't quote me on that. But stripping's still sex work. You can go to a strip club, and you can watch them strip. So what if you could just go to a pub, right? And in there, the pub's hired a flasher, and the flasher just goes round and flashes people when they're pissed, so they can have a laugh. They're just like, "Hey, you dirty bastard!" It just seems like an untapped market, mate, this. And you may hear me bring this up again. I think this is a proper good idea. I'll fucking let you carry on with your week anyway.
So that's an example of an episode on Patreon. They're just, 5 to 10 minutes most of the time. As I said, one of them's about 3 minutes. I just get stuff out of my system, mate, rather than having it rattling around in my head for days, doing my head in, sending me mental. Which, it may affect the taxidermy stuff, I don't know, by getting it out my head. But it does make me feel a bit nicer, So if you do want to go and listen to the rest, there's another 159 of them. There's some long form episodes as well where I read the comments that people leave on my Facebook videos, where I'm sort of, taking the piss a bit. The pervy ones, the angry ones. I've not been doing the pervy ones that much though since I started the OnlyFans, I'll be dead honest, because it seems a little bit backhanded of me. But there is a few on there from when it all started. There's, like I say, the video episodes. So $3 a month. If you want, you can give 6 or more. You get discount codes, varying discount codes really for whichever tier you choose. You can give just $1, but you don't get access to the Patreon shows. But I think you should get access to all the video episodes. So if you just fancy that, go for that. But anyway, we'll be back next week, and you'll have an episode of Truth Seeking to hear. Unless you want to go and find an episode of Truth Seeking now. But really, I'd prefer it if you just go and join me Patreon and give me $3 a month and that, listen to some ramblings and that. I'll see you in a bit, mate.